We're going to discuss events which happened some 20 years ago and led to a multi-million-pound company failure and many questions. The company concerned is Polly Peck, and its chief executive has just returned to the UK to face trial. Now, Ruth Bender has made a close study of Polly Peck. Now, Ruth, what can we learn from Polly Peck today, or is it just history?
Well, I suppose it's history to the people I teach, but it's still very live. If you just set a bit of context, right? Polly Peck was a darling of the stock market. Its price had soared, everybody loved it. And then overnight it collapsed. £2 billion company disappeared. And what's interesting about it is twofold. First thing is, an awful lot of people knew that there was something wrong with it, because there were a lot of people, I mean, I knew some of them at the time, who were saying, how does this business model work? How does a company in that business make so much money? And how does a company making that much profit never have any cash? So there were a lot of people who were going, there's something not right here. Apparently, some of the executives on the board of Polly Peck were saying, we don't understand how it makes its money. So I think there's a lesson from 20 years ago that's very live today that says, if you don't understand how it makes its money, it's up to you to do some digging, or at least not take it for granted. The second thing you need to think about that's live today is apparently what happened was remarkably simple. What you had was somebody at the very top of the company who had the authority to authorise things and write cheques without very many checks and balances on him. Now, we don't know what happened. There's a trial got to take place yet. But if you look at it in the context of frauds that have happened since, you have things like Satyam in India, where you had exactly the same situation. People at the very top of the company who were authorised to do a lot of things without checks and balances, and that can lead to things going wrong in a company. In the UK, we had a series of events like that. We had Barlow Clowes in 88, we had Polly Peck in 90, we had BCCI in 91, we had Mirror Group in 91. What happened in the UK was we then formed the Cadbury Committee, which looked at corporate governance in UK companies. Cadbury reported in 92. From Cadbury, we have very good corporate governance codes which have been exported throughout most of the year. And the two big things that Cadbury brought in was, first of all, strengthening the role of non-executive directors to try and get some sort of control over the board. And second of all, splitting up at the top of the company the role of the CEO and the role of the chairman, again to get some checks and balances in.
So let's be clear. What does this mean for the future?
Well, I think you can't say it happened 20 years ago, it couldn't happen again, because the very fact that companies fail all the time means it does happen. I think what it means is we need to understand what our companies are doing, and we need to be incredibly vigilant about our corporate governance. It's no good just saying we have these rules, therefore in corporate governance this cannot happen, because corporate governance isn't about rules, it's about the way people react with each other. And you need to get behind it. You need to have really good non-executives on a board who are independent and are prepared to challenge and say, I don't understand this, I don't like this.
So the key message then is, this isn't history, there's some key lessons still today.
I'm afraid it isn't history, and yes, there are lessons we can take away from it.
Ruth, thank you.